It was meant to be a simple Sunday drive. Just me and my little girl Lily, heading out to Grandma's place in the quiet suburbs of Seattle. We hadn't dropped by in weeks. Not since Grandpa passed. Mom had been pulling back, dodging calls, making excuses about needing time alone. Grief hits hard, I told myself, twisting people into shadows of who they used to be. Lily bounced in the passenger seat, her tiny sneakers thumping against the dashboard as she belted out lyrics to some pop song on the radio. She adored those visits, baking pies, sharing knock-knock jokes, sneaking extra candy that I'd pretend not to notice. But as we rounded the bend onto Mom's tree-lined street, a knot twisted in my gut, sharp and unignorable, like a storm cloud swallowing the sun. That's when I spotted it, my husband's pickup truck. Bold as day, parked right in her driveway. At first, I shook my head, convinced my eyes were playing tricks. But no, there was the familiar scratch on the tailgate from that fender bender last year. The faded bumper sticker from his favorite fishing spot. That was definitely Alex's truck. He was supposed to be out on a job site, sealing a deal for a big commercial property flip. He'd left early that morning, tie straightened, aftershave lingering like a promise as he pecked my cheek and murmured, "This one's gonna be huge. Han, cross your fingers." I eased the car to the curb across the street, heart pounding like a drum in my chest. Lily glanced up from her coloring book. "Aren't we going in, Mommy?" I plastered on a smile that felt like cracking glass. "In a minute, sweetie. Grandma might be napping. Let me check first, you stay put." "Okay." She nodded, humming again as I slipped out, closing the door with a soft click that echoed too loud in my ears. My palms were slick with sweat as I crept along the side of the house, sticking to the soft lawn to avoid the gravel's betraying crunch. The place looked eerily still, no lights on. No chatter from the TV she always left running. Blinds drawn tight. Unusual for midday when she loved letting the Pacific Northwest sun filter in. I edged up to the living room window, cracked just enough for voices to drift out like smoke. And there they were, Mom and Alex, murmuring low, intimate. At first, I rationalized it, maybe he swung by to help with something. Fix a leaky faucet like the good son-in-law he pretended to be. But then I heard my name drop like a stone. "Emily doesn't have to know every detail," Alex said, his voice smooth and calculated. The one he used in client negotiations. "She's my daughter," Mom hissed back, barely audible. I raised her. "I can't keep this up forever." "You've come too far to back out now," he countered, firm as steel. "You think she'll forgive us if it all spills?" "We stick to the plan, that's what we agreed on." My throat closed up, knees buckling like I'd been punched. They sounded like accomplices in some shadowy scheme, not family. Betrayal seeped in, cold and relentless, freezing me in place. I pressed my hands to my thighs to stop the tremors, straining to catch more fragments. Not just lies, something deeper, darker. Twisting the knife of trust I'd handed them so freely. A sudden thud from the car snapped me back. Lily must have knocked over her juice box. Panic surged. If they heard, they'd come out, see me shattered. I bolted back, sliding into the driver's seat with a forced grin. "All good?" she asked, tilting her head. "Grandma's tied up. Kiddo, we'll swing by later." I revved the engine and pulled away, the rearview mirror showing that truck mocking me. On the drive home, regrets flooded in waves. I should have noticed the cracks earlier. How had I been so blind? The changes had crept in subtle, like fog rolling off Puget Sound. Alex, once my rock, the guy who'd surprised me with wildflowers from the market, text flirty memes during open houses, wrap his arms around me while I balanced the books for his real estate gigs. But lately, that spark had dimmed to embers. No more midday check-ins. He'd blame it on back-to-back showings. I'd buy it. Every time. He'd stumble in late, smelling of fresh soap and cologne. Not the sweat of a day hustling properties. Rough one at work? I'd ask. Casual. He'd flash that crooked smile that used to melt me. Just the grind. Babe, you get it. But the ache in my chest grew. Unspoken. Then there was Mom. After Dad's heart attack took him last year, she'd withdrawn. Understandably. 40 years married, how do you bounce back from that? I'd swing by with casseroles, invite her for barbecues, even offer to sort through Dad's old fishing gear cluttering the garage. But she'd wave me off. Eyes distant, I need my space. I'd respect it. Back off. Yet the unannounced visits? She'd hustle to the door, blocking entry, claiming she was heading out even in her ratty robe and no shoes. Grief isolates. I'd tell myself, pushing down the unease. But now, puzzle pieces snapped together in ugly clarity. A couple weeks back, Alex came home with a fresh cut on his knuckle. What happened? I'd probed. He hesitated a beat too long, then shrugged, helping your mom with some yard work. She didn't want to bug you. Sweet. I'd thought. Him stepping up for her. But she never mentioned it. Never thanked him over family dinners. Lily, innocent as ever, had piped up once, "Why does Daddy visit Grandma without us?" I'd eavesdropped from the hall as he chuckled. Grown-up errands. Munchkin, boring stuff like fixing fences. She'd dropped it. But now it all replayed like a bad movie reel. The hushed calls he'd take on the porch. The text from S that vanished before I could glimpse it. Sarah from the title company, he'd laughed off. Sarah, my mom. I'd trusted. Because why wouldn't I? They were my anchors. Standing by that window. Time warped. I clung to the siding. Breath shallow. As snippets pierced deeper. Inside. Alex paced the room. Mom perched on the sofa, legs tucked under like she was at ease. His tone wasn't familial, it was charged. Possessive. You're dragging your feet, he snapped. We said we'd close this out ages ago. I'm terrified, she whispered. You should have thought of that before. Then the gut punch. Emily's onto something, I saw it in her eyes last dinner. She's sensing the shift. He knew I'd felt the distance. And instead of bridging it, he dug the chasm wider with lies. I hate deceiving her, Mom murmured. He wheeled on her. Didn't seem to bother you last weekend or the one before. Silence fell heavy. Then, she's my girl. Alex. He scoffed, she's no kid anymore. Living in denial. We're doing her a mercy. That old house was crumbling anyway. Your husband wouldn't want her chained to it. My world tilted. The house? Dad's house. Where I'd grown up splashing in the backyard sprinkler. Carving pumpkins on the porch? What the hell? I strained harder. She still believes it's hers, Mom said. It never was, Alex replied coolly. He willed it to you. Not her. You signed off, I handled the flip. I reeled back. Dizzy. After the funeral. Mom had assured me, it's all sorted. Yours when you're ready. I'd never dug into the paperwork. Never doubted. Why would I? She was Mom. And Alex? He griped about the place being a money pit. Outdated wiring and all. Now I saw, they'd schemed. Betrayed. Stripped me of my inheritance under the guise of help. Worse. The intimacy in their glances, the way his hand brushed hers like habit. It wasn't grief bonding, it was something profane. Shattering every boundary. Nausea hit like a wave. I stumbled away. Silent as a ghost. Tears blurring my vision. Back in the car. I beamed at Lily. Grandma's resting, we'll reschedule. I drove off. The neighborhood blurring. But inside, everything sharpened to a razor's edge. I'd uncovered a rot that couldn't be ignored. Sleep evaded me that night. Lying beside Alex as he snored peacefully. oblivious to the storm he'd unleashed. I stared at the ceiling fan's lazy spin, replaying every word, every lie. The man I'd vowed forever to? A stranger. My mother. My confidant through heartbreaks and milestones? A traitor. Rage simmered. But I swallowed it, opting for silence. No explosions, not yet. Instead, I'd observe, gather the shards of truth. Days blurred into a facade. I played the dutiful wife, brewing coffee, packing Lily's lunches, chuckling at Alex's lame puns. But my eyes sharpened. His phone never left his side now. Passcode changed subtly. He'd fidget when I mentioned Mom. Give her more time, she's still raw. Mom ramped up the texts. How's Lily? Need groceries? Forced. Brittle. Like Band-Aids over guilt. Her hugs at rare meetups felt hollow. Her gaze skittering away from Lily's innocent chatter, as if the kid's presence amplified her shame. I turned detective in the quiet hours. Rifled the mail Alex had helpfully taken over. Scanned bank statements for odd transfers. Dug through Dad's old files in the attic, piecing together discrepancies. Lily sensed the undercurrent one bedtime. Mommy. You seem sad. I forced a laugh, just worn out. Bug. She yawned. Daddy should take you dancing like before. You smiled more then. Her words twisted the knife, fueling my resolve. No more naive Emily. It was a lazy Saturday brunch, pancakes dripping syrup. Lily giggling as she stacked hers into towers. For a flicker, normalcy teased. But Alex scrolled his phone, detached, grunting at her stories. After, as I scrubbed plates, she doodled at the counter and dropped the bomb. Is Daddy Grandma's best friend now? Sponge frozen mid-swipe. I turned. What makes you say that? Sweetie. She shrugged. He visits lots. And they whisper like me and my playground buddies. Grandma laughs more with him than you. Innocence laced with truth, it gutted me. Grown-ups have secrets sometimes, I murmured, tucking her hair. But inside, fury ignited. I needed tangible proof. That night, Alex in the shower. I raided his nightstand. Under faded receipts. In a zipped pouch. I found it. A notarized deed transfer. Mom's signature. Bold and betraying. No mention of me. The property flipped to some LLC I'd never heard of. And a scribbled note. Processed. She suspects nothing. The room spun. Fraud. Clear as day, emotional manipulation turning grief into gain. I photographed it all. Hands steady now. Resolve hardening like concrete. Confrontation with Mom came unplanned. Dropping off Lily's hand-me-downs. She opened the door. Smile plastic. Tea. Dear. I nodded. Steeling myself at the kitchen table where memories mocked her teaching me to tie shoelaces. Us giggling over holiday cookies. I laid the deed copy down. Truth time. Mom. No more lies. She crumpled. Tears flowing. I meant to tell you. You forged it all, I whispered. Dad left it to me. Legally mine, she confessed. But Alex. He helped with fixes. Then pitched selling. I was lost. Lonely. How long? A year. She admitted. Voice breaking. He was there when you weren't. It spiraled. My heart shattered anew. You chose him over me. Sobs racked her. I never meant. But the damage was done. I left without rage. Just quiet finality. I see you now and I can't unsee. Alex was next. That crisp morning in our driveway. He loaded his toolkit. Whistling. Until he saw me. Early bird? What's up? I dropped the deed. I know it all, the affair. The fraud. His mask slipped. Shrug, defensive. It just happened. We were both adrift. Adrift on my inheritance? I countered. Lawyers involved now, coercion. Forgery. Walk away. Or face the fallout. His smirk faded as I flashed the filed dispute. County alert. HOA freeze on any runoffs. He stood silent as I drove off. Dignity intact, but soul scarred. That night, on our new apartment stoop, Lily sketched rainbows in chalk. Mom and Alex vanished into silence, no calls, no pleas. I'd lost the house, the marriage, but gained unshakable truth. Revenge wasn't fireworks, it was the quiet reclaiming of self. Paid in tears and isolation. And in Lily's trusting eyes, I vowed no more blindness. Peace, hard won, was mine alone.